Bitcoin hoodie guy coming back with another Caspa video. Before we get into it, could you please Mike Tyson the like and subscribe button? Well, life is good. We're back over 17 cents. You can see a couple green candles on the daily chart. And you can really see just since with June, we've been making higher highs and making higher lows. So we'll see. I guess these lows are a little bit below that one. So maybe that's not holding up. But been making higher highs and we're getting close. Whether KRC 20s is going to lift us up over the overall market's ready to explode. We pumped yesterday because they're signaling about lowering interest rates, and you can see we're back into that number 22 spot. And so today we'll talk a little bit about the path to $3.84, which would put us roughly around a $98 billion market cap and a potentially 1% market dominance, with the overall market cap around 9.8 trillion. Whether that happens, I don't know, but this video is just going to be speculating about that. That's all it is. I don't think that that's unreasonable to think that that's possible. And so let's just dive into a couple things going on today. You can see the market's up about 5%. Casplex, they were on that the Binance Live video. I had a chance to listen to that. Hash rate did go over 900, up to 922 petahashes. And like I said before, Davey chimed in and said that they think that there's going to be a massive amount of ASICs coming online soon. So that could be even going up another couple hundred to maybe 300 or 400 petahashes. So the network is getting more secure. So, when people talk about the trilemma, decentralization, you have that. You have computers around the world, nodes around the world. It's decentralized, and you have a growing hash rate. So it's way more secure. If you just think about the last year, how much more has the security grown? It's a lot easier to take over a 14 petahash, a 51% attack on 14 petahashes. Less computers you have to buy, less energy you have to use. It's already massive. So it's getting secure. It's decentralized. Now the final stages is the scalability. And in theory, it's there, but and it showed that it could do quite a bit there with KRC 20s, but that's the final stage. And that's what, when KRC 20s come out and are successful, and then next year when it upgrades with a crescendo hard fork to 10 blocks per second, that is going to be where it really proves it out. It goes from theory to proof, and then that really, there's nothing left there to doubt for anyone. Not that you're doubting. So this is a great video. You can go, and there's a good post by Crypto Proselyte on X or on Reddit, and he's talking about some of his recaps, what he liked about the AMA. And at the end, the gal from Binance, was talking about how, it's toward the end when she says that it's not on Binance yet. Wolfie, Nicholas, Ray from Ice River, and Chris from Casplex. So great team. Ice River is talking about eventually, they're just trying to stay with the market, give the market what it wants. Efficient miners that don't use a lot of energy, but and they even talked about immersion mining. I know that some Bitcoin miners are doing the immersion mining, and so that's pretty cool. And just a great recap, and good for some people that never even heard of Caspa, why it's good, like Nicholas and Wolfie talking about why, the strong benefits of Caspa, and then Chris talking about KRC 20s. So those are things that are on the roadmap of what could help us get to $3.84 or $2 or $5, whatever it's going to be next year. After the video, I'll put a link to this post in the pinned comment. So we got Binance still hanging there at 621 petahashes. The top wallets, you can see the fifth and seventh wallet took a day off. 411,000 wallets. Now this wallet, and I could put a link in the address too, is the one that is linked to Mara, and so they sold, and then now the balance is going back up over 80 million. This is the one, number 19th wallet, so we can even go back here and look. So here's the top 10 wallets. You go to page number 2. I'm on cast.fyi. number 19 wallet picked up another 747,000. So 80 million Caspa. That's about $14 million. So it looks like they're holding, and they're far from, right now you'd have to have 51% of the coin, or the tokens you would have, or yeah, coins. You would have to have what? There's like almost 25 billion. You'd have to have 12.5 billion. So no one's close to having 51% of the coins. And then that doesn't, having all those coins, you could have 51% coins, but that's not going to give you any. You could, manipulate the market by buying and selling, but you would not be able to. It would give you no control over the network. This is not proof of stake. So that's cool. So I do think that this is good. And I've brought this up, in multiple videos, but you can see that right now we're, whoops, we're just under, you can see where 1% of market dominance would be. That would put us above Toncoin. Now, whether it gets there, I don't know. Cardano, you can see is 0.62%. Also, too, right now, Bitcoin is still at 56% market dominance, which is pretty heavy. So at some point in the market, Bitcoin will probably go down to the 40s. Whether it hits 40, I don't know, but it's not going to hold 56% for the entire market once altcoin season starts. So that means that maybe Toncoin and Dogecoin and Cardano, potentially these ones in the top 10, could get up to 1%, maybe even a little bit higher. And you can see that you have Solana at 3.2%, BNB at 3.7%. So Caspa is going to have some market dominance. That's why I looking at that metric. Hard to predict exactly what the market dominance is going to be, but right now we're just under 0.2%. So there's a lot of room to grow there, and that's why I like that, because there's a point where it's not getting up to 10% market dominance. So you can start. There's some market dominance. It's basically you can just X out and realize that it's not getting up to 10%, maybe in the future, but not this cycle. I think that's too far for it to go. I think 4% would be pretty much the max dominance it could go. And that's like best case scenario on everything. KRC20 comes out, everything's perfect. Binance listing, Coinbase listing, 10 blocks per second. KII is getting some people outside of crypto doing it. They're maybe doing carbon credits. Because I know when I was talking about a couple of videos ago, talking about the energy credits and things like that, that you can't really trade energy, but you can trade carbon credits. And I remember Martin Contusa, who's a big guy in mining that made a lot of money, said that if he was young, he would focus on trading carbon credits because he feels like that's where there's going to be a ton of money. And this is actually an article from Contusa Research, and I can put a link in this too. Carbonomics, the amount of capital that is and will continue to be deployed in the carbonomics sector is mind-boggling. It's in the hundreds of billions and will reach trillions. So that'll be the main sector that I think that Desert Energy and KII are looking to monetize and put on the blockchain. So I'm just going to jump in and look at a couple comments. Crypto pumps. Hey man, Cass is pumping it. Hopefully it'll break out to all-time highs. That would be nice. Seems like we're primed. Love the pump. Let's keep it going. Hey Leroy, thanks for tuning in. Hey bro, Disclosure Crypto, thanks for tuning in. Could you look at Gary Network? Maybe later. I right now, I think I've looked at it before. I don't think it's something that really looked like was something for me. It looks like it's pumping a little bit. It's 58% of the circulating supply is out. It's on some decent sized exchanges, Kraken, OKX, Mexi, Crypto.com. So it's on some big exchanges. Maybe they did something with their tokenomics. That chart's not looking too beautiful, but I guess in the 1 year, maybe it's doing, 1 year it's kind of even. There's a lot of the circulating supply left. Probably not for me, but that's just me. For me right now, I spent a lot of time in the last bull market and the beginning of the bear market just running around trying to find the next thing. And I'm not putting my energy into that anymore. I got my Bitcoin my Caspa, I got a little bit of Cardano, and I got my dog go to the moon, and that's what I'm focused on. I feel like those are all I need. So I'm not looking. I know that there's Solana meme coins and there's this and that. I got my meme coin, I got my proof of work things, and I got kind of a leftover, proof of stake project that, doing some interesting things. Cardano's not going to zero. Yeah, maybe a lot of things, but the most things I'm most excited about is my Bitcoin and Caspa. And Caspa, you go back and you like listen to this, um, you listen to this AMA, and it makes you think like, wow, okay, like it really, you walk away from this thinking, man, Caspa's the one. Proof of work, energy efficient, a lot of smart people. And I was just thinking about that in this morning when I was waking up, is like, you remember like Alex Machinsky and Celsius, like I never listened to him and thought, wow, he's smarter than me. Not that I think I'm smart, but like when you listen to Shy or Michael Sutton or, um, Jonathan or a lot of these people in the industry, in Caspa's talk, I'm like, wow, that guy's smarter than me. I don't even understand some of what they say, and things like that. That's a good indicator. And that doesn't mean that the project's guaranteed for success, but you want people like some of these people. There's a difference between trying to just like be a scammer like Brian Legend and try to make these complicated acronyms. And there's a difference between trying to overcomplicate something, but it's people that are actually really smart. And Castle's got a lot of those people. And, like Wolfie keeps pointing out, you go to the Desert Energy Initiative and they have a lot of heavy hitters from Dubai, China, all around the world, Germany. And it doesn't matter what you think about clean energy or whatever, I don't think that it's a dire world consequence but I do think that it's the best that we step in that direction. And whether you like it or not, like Martin Contusa pointed out, and this was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, because there was this mining penny stock that he was involved in or part of, and that's what I was in. And he was just, I saw an interview a couple of years ago where he's just like, man, if I was young, I would go into carbon credits, and that's where there's just going to be a ton of money. And in this article, which I'll link up to afterwards, he is talking about the carbonomics sector is going to be mind-boggling. And Shell, one of the biggest oil producers in the world, lost a Dutch court ruling, must now legally be responsible to cut their greenhouse emissions by 45% by 2030, according to a Dutch court, which means that Shell needs to buy or create over 100 million carbon credits a year for the next decade. So let's put that into perspective. In 2020, 223 million voluntary carbon credit markets were issued. So that means that they'd have to buy 45% of all the voluntary carbon credit markets issued. So that's where, if Caspa and KII get involved in these carbon credits, that could be a lot. And we can, eventually that's going to take longer than the cycle. But like, I don't know, just chart a couple things for the path to 384. KRC20, tier 1, 10 blocks per second, overall market boom, KII. And there's some other things. That's just a few of them. But this is a kind of interesting article. I'll link up into it. The carbon credits. I know that you couldn't sell the energy, because you can only energy can only really go maybe 300, maybe 1,000 miles once you produce it. But when people are making excess energy, then you can sell it as a carbon credit. You get your carbon credit that you can sell, and all these big giant companies like Shell and Walmart and all these different places and Amazon, they're trying to be net zero, are going to be. So the carbon credits is going to be a huge market, whether you like it or not. And this guy makes a good point that basically Shell alone would had to buy 45% of the existing carbon credit market in 2020. And they have to do that for a decade. And that's just one big oil company. You got Exxon, after 24 hours after Shell court ruling, Exxon board had a massive shakeout. So dirty oil, green bond bonanza. So I think we're geared in the perfect position. And thanks for that. 100%. The more I study CAS, the more I can see it going places. And that's where you have to have flexibility. So you get a plan together, and there's none of us have a magic ball, so we don't know what's going to happen. you can look at this, and nothing ever, guys, quite depends. Maybe the market only gives up to 8.5 trillion, maybe it goes to 12 trillion. And that's why you dollar cost average out with whatever position of whatever project. But with Caspa, it depends on like what my meme coin does and some of the other stuff I have. Uh, but basically, to figure out what percentage, I'll sell some cash, but it's just, life's too short to never take profit. And, so you can keep part of your bag. Now you're doing the research, you're listening, you're seeing some of this stuff. And a lot of this KII stuff and carbon credits is the stuff that could really blow it out of the water. And, that's where stable coins and stuff like that. And KRC20 is going to bring a lot of transactions. You can see just in the one day that it was around. And that was what Chris um, there from Casplex was talking about in the video, that just in one day, it had a massive amount of transactions. And so that's what we're at. We're in a perfect spot. Market is ready for a boom here soon. Whether we pull back from this, Powell saying what he said over in Wyoming and Jackson Hole, who knows? And but and that's why I do think that, and I've probably talked about it too many times, but if this market still hasn't went for the next boom leg up and KRC20s come out, we could really launch up into the 17 spot. And that's just getting more eyeballs. And I mean, once you're at 17, you scroll up there and just saying, in theory, somehow KRC20s come out and we're able to pop up to 17. Everyone's excited. Things run smoothly. Then now on Coin Market Cap, you really have like the top 15, top 10 is in your radar. Right now at 22, top 15s in your radar, but you go up to 17, now you're getting the top 10s in your radar. So a lot of exciting things. That's where I think that it's possible that we could get to a 1% market dominance, possible that Bitcoin gets to close to 200,000, that the market gets close to 10 trillion. I think that's all sound thesis and possible. And I know that that'd make a lot of people happy at that price. Some people think it's going to go more. Some people think it might not see $2. So we'll find out. And also, the more I learn, the more stuff that's getting built out makes me want to keep part of my bag. So that's all I got. So I'll link up to these articles in the description and comment after this video. So I sure appreciate tuning in today. Lots of exciting things going on. Stay bullish. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.